Hello, everybody. Maid of Awesome, congrats on being first. That is a penguin. I'm happy for you. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good week. I hope you're having a good Friday, even. Beansley, hello. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well as well. And I hope you also have had a good week and are having a good Friday. Happy both. I am excited and I am nervous tonight for this stream. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm hopeful. We're going to hope for the best. We're going to be positive. But, you know, this is part of this stream is going to be me sharing my idea for a card game. It's the dev stream. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is the big one. We've been waiting a little over a month for it. I'm very excited though. We're gonna get to that in a moment. You know, I'll give people some time to join. We're a few minutes late because I was doing some last minute setup. But and then I was about ready to go live and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta grab something because I wanted to like show a thing first before we jumped into it. But yeah, this is the start of phase 2 of the Gwyn creative endeavor project. So we'll talk about what phase 1 was, which was the calendar. And this is the next one. This is what we're doing now. So this is just the beginning. Again, I don't know. I'll probably say this a few times. I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know if this is something we'll finish this year or if it will lead into next year. I really don't. I think it's just going to kind of depend on what this card game ends up even being. I've got some stuff that we're going to talk through. I'll show you everything I've got, which admittedly is not a lot. And because I want most of this to be on stream and documented on stream. Amber, hello, welcome on in. I'm happy to have you. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're having a good Friday. So yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a good week. There's been some very, very good relieving news that has been great and has made me feel pretty good overall. So that's good. But I've been really, really excited about this stream tonight. I am nervous, but hopefully it'll go fine. I don't know exactly what kind of progress we're going to make tonight. I think tonight will probably be a lot of brainstorming and a lot of just kind of figuring out what this looks like and what this card game can even be. So I don't know how much art we're going to really get to. Maybe we'll do some very basic like sketching, maybe just some like kind of plotting out like what a card even looks like, what the layout of cards could be. I've got some ideas. I've got some goals set for tonight for things I would like to get done. And obviously this is open to feedback. But before we get there, before we start really diving in to the card game proper, as I am just getting a text from my mom. Okay, everything is fine. Before we do that, let us take a step back. Let me know how the music is, for one. If I need to turn it up, you know, let me know. Hopefully it's okay. But let us take a step back. Around 1 year ago, a little over a year ago, we collectively, all of us, and by that I mean like I think 3 or 4 of us, decided on one stream one night in the beginning of February of 2023, hey, wouldn't it be funny if this art that we made every month like was a calendar? I don't know who was the first to bring this up. Somebody was, and we kind of just ran with it. And so what happened is over the course of the last year, our first big creative project on this channel turned into a calendar. This is the one extra calendar I actually have. So it's not the one hanging up out there. I just have this extra one that it's free to a good home. But we did it, you know, we made January, we made February, March, etc. I can like kind of do a very quick, you know, flip through. You don't really see much, but you know, if you know, you know. But we made art, we made fan art for all of the games that we streamed last year. And it turned into this calendar, and I hand delivered it. I shipped it out to people. I have one hanging up in the kitchen out there. I have this one, and then there are 8 other calendars just out there in the world that have gone to good homes and friends, and I super appreciated it. It meant a lot. It was really cool to like actually have something physically that I could hold, and I could say, I made this. This is mine. This is something that I spent a lot of time, that we spent a lot of time together creating, and it really meant a lot to me. This is something, and you know, in some respects, like the calendar I have out there, like I'm writing on it. I'm writing like appointments, stream dates, other things, like other important dates for myself. But it's something that like I'm gonna keep. Even after this year is over, I will keep that calendar, and I'll always look back on it and be like, man, that was such a cool thing that we did together. And I was so happy to be able to send it out to people I call friends, right? Some of you have been, you know, with us on this channel for over a year, some not as long, but like I've still been here and have been at the art streams, and even if you didn't join too much, it's still really appreciated. Because yeah, this is a really cool thing we did. So after this was done, I kind of spent a lot of time thinking about what I wanted to do next, and we've talked about it. You know, we talked about what is next, what is the next big creative project we're going to take on, and that's a card game. So I want to give a little setup for what I would like, what my goals are for this, while acknowledging that this is the beginning of us making a card game. And so I don't know how this is going to play out. I've never done this before. If there is someone watching right now who has made a card game before, great, we would love your wisdom. But I think a lot of us probably haven't made a card game before. So I really don't know what to expect. I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic, but I know we'll run into walls, or, you know, it will be hard. Making art for this was really difficult at times. Liz, hello, thank you for the potatoes. Sauce Pot, my favorite new name that you only have one new name, I guess, but it's a really good name. I'm glad I could catch your stream a little bit yesterday too. But welcome on in. I hope you're having a good Friday. We're just kind of diving into it. So yeah, this is going to be very difficult. I think that there will be parts where I will probably be like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do this. But we will. We're gonna get through it. It's gonna be great. You have that calendar within arm's reach currently. That's so cool. Yeah, this is my extra one. I trust that one day I'm just gonna find someone who's like, I would like a calendar. And they're like, I didn't ask for it then. I didn't think to ask for it, but I would like one, and I can just give it to them. Or I can just have an extra one. It's fine. So let's talk about goals. Let's talk about things I would like to do and I would like to have happen for this card game. While acknowledging that maybe that never comes to pass. There are some things I'm going to hold a little close to my chest because I do have plans. I do have things that I would like to eventually do, but I think we'll wait until we're farther along before I talk about those. The first thing is, I happy to lend ideas for this card game as much as little. Yeah. I am gonna be. I think I'm gonna be very warm and welcoming to ideas made of awesome. I think that's what will make these streams a lot of fun, is what I'll say. But I'll talk about that. Yeah. So first, off the gate, right out the gate, we are not making a trading card game. This is not a card game where you're gonna be like, you can buy packs and you've got to collect them all. Like, no. The goal for this card game is that one is that this will be a product. My ultimate goal is I would like for this to be a thing that you could purchase. Whether that is me setting up my own online shop and finding a place to get it printed and doing it all manually, or like, I don't know. I honestly don't know, right? And like, that's a long way from now. I'll probably start looking into it soon, but like, Yeah. This is very different. We can call them pals, right? Yeah. And I can talk to that guy at the gas station next to me, and I'm sure he'll be really interested. Very invested in it. So yeah. This is my goal. This is something that you can buy. You can just buy the box. It'll have all the cards you need right out the box. And maybe like, you know, this is something we don't even need to think about, but maybe like that happens and like it turns out and it's good and people like it. Maybe like 5 people enjoy it, and maybe we can make like an expansion. Maybe we can make like more cards to include. I don't know. Like, I want to like start simple. The other thing is I want this to be pretty simple. I am really bad about starting a creative project and letting myself get a little over ambitious. So I'm gonna need you to reel me in. I'm gonna try to reel myself in, but I can be over ambitious, and that has been my downfall many times in creative endeavors. So I'm gonna try my best not to be. I would like for this to be a pretty simple card game. Could be like Flux, where you have standalone games that have different. Yeah. And this, as you're gonna see as we talk about it, I think you will see how this is very easy to expand upon. Ideally, also, there are a couple people here who have played physical card games with me. I won't name names. However, if you have done that, if you have, I think you're gonna notice some similarities. I did my best not to like be too similar to anything, but after I had like gotten this all written up and typed up into a Google Doc, I was like reading back through it and I was like, I was like, yeah, I can see where my inspirations work. So if you are one of those people, you might notice things too, where you go, oh yeah, Gwyn was definitely inspired by something, by a few things. There's actually a few different things that I've like little pieces of different things. But I think that's another thing, right? Is like, I have familiarity with card games and board games, although it's been a hot minute. If you also do, one, I think that's good because it will help us understand how to do mechanics and stuff. But if you're like, hey, this is like really similar to something else, please tell me. I do not want to like, I want to be like, I don't want to be like, oh, everything has to be different because like whatever. But I don't want to be like super similar to other things. I would like for us to be able to carve out our own little space and be like, yeah, this is unique. Like this game might be similar in theme, let's say. Because I think there's a lot of games out there that are following the theme that I have chosen. but I want to be different. I want this to be able to stand on its own and be its own thing. So yeah, the end goal for this is that it is a product. One of the things we said with the calendar is like, yeah, we'll get it printed. I'll figure it out. I'll ship it to people. Didn't charge for it. Was happy to send it to people. I think this is something I would still be down for. Like, I think it's like, hey, if you're like a supporter of the stream, you're subscribed, like I will give you a copy. But like, I would like to sell this too. This game uses cards. Yeah, there's so many card games. Why even make one? There's a moment yesterday where I was like, what if it was a board game? And I was like, no, Gwyn, no. So yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a thing, a boxed product, which will be really cool. I think that would be incredible. Like that's the goal, and that's why I'm stressing. I don't know how long this is gonna take. This could take a long time. So this is just beginning of it. The other thing is, because of that, unlike the calendar, we're not making fan art. This is, all of the art will be uniquely mine that I have made. I think I'll be fairly open. I know Made of Awesome, I think you and Wizard have talked about, like, would love to, like, make art too. I'm very open to that. I think we have to figure out logistically what that looks like, especially if this does become something that I would sell. I would like people to get credited. I would like people to earn what they have put into, whatever work they put into it. I don't know what that looks like. We're way too early, but I would want to do right by people. So in that regard, as far as accepting, like, if people wanted to do art, I think I would be very particular about who I'm accepting it from. Like Made of Awesome, you and Wizard, I know. So I want to just be very careful because I want to do right by people. But I also, like, don't want to get in over my head, right? I don't want to be way too ambitious with this. I want to have a focused goal, right? Like, I want to like be focused and like have this be achievable and not have this something that's like way out of reach. In the Discord, there is a channel for the card game. So we don't need to like fill it up with stuff tonight, but after this stream, I'm going to post things in it. If you've got ideas, if you just think of something, if I think of something, I'll post it in the channel. Any art we'll post in there. That can be just like a growing channel that just lives within the Discord server for the card game. Again, the majority of the development of this card game I want to have happen on stream, which is why I did not go too crazy with brainstorming, but I do have a general outline that we're going to follow. Other than that, I'm trying to think of other things. Yeah, pretty welcoming to like brainstorming, right, on these streams, brainstorming with chat, coming up with ideas and things like that. Very open to that. Obviously, we just need to steer clear of like, hey, this is like we can't do fan art of something. Like these have to be like original creations. You'll see in a moment when I show you what this card game is and what my idea is. But some things we're just gonna have to be very vague and broad on, and that will make sense shortly. With that being said, are you all ready to see what I've come up with? I hope so. I am very nervous. I am open to suggestions. There's actually a couple of things here. Cool. There's actually a couple of things here that I've kind of just left blank because I'm like, I actually want to come up with this on stream. I want to figure this out. I will point out things where it's like, hey, we're just going to have to play test this. We're just going to have to figure out what works, right? Which will be the fun of this. So we're definitely not going to happen tonight. But the last thing I'll say before we get into it and before I wait, the last thing I will say, and then I will stop stalling, is what I wanted to say, is once we get cards made, once we start getting stuff made, I intend to upload all of it into Tabletop Simulator, and we can arrange playtest nights where we can stream. Maybe we don't even have to stream all of them, but I would like to stream playtest nights. And so we can, we can hop in to the Discord server, we can hop into the voice chat, we can get people together and we can play test it for a few hours and stream it and see what we think. That's obviously not going to happen tonight. We'll see how far we get tonight and kind of figure out from there. Yeah, because we'll get into it, but this is the plan. This might change, but the intention is for this to be a 2 to 6 player card game. So that is your first bit of information, but let's go ahead and jump in. I am so nervous. I think anytime that you like share with people like, hey, here's like this creative idea I was thinking about. It's like, oh, what if they hate it? Oh no. So let me come over here. Okay, that's Clip Studio. We're gonna leave Clip Studio. I don't know if we're gonna get back to Clip Studio tonight, but let me go here. Okay. Hi everybody. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to, you're here for support. I really appreciate it. Welcome to Gwyn Makes a Card Game. And maybe it should be Gwyn and chat makes a card game. This is devlog number 1. The VODs of these will all go up on the YouTube VOD channel, so if you ever miss any, you can see them there. Before we jump in, my last bit of stalling is there are elements of this that are coming over from a card game I attempted to start making about 3 years ago. About 3.5 years ago. What this actually is very different from what that game ended up being. For stalling, yeah, thank you, Jacobus. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a good Friday. Thank you so much for stopping in. So some of this actually is coming over from something I had worked on about 3.5 years ago. Actually got far enough along to play test it with my old roommate. But it never went anywhere. I stopped working on it. And this is actually a very, very different kind of game. But there are elements that have come over. So if you know me, I was thinking about theming. I was like, what kind of theme do I want? Because I do want the theme to be really, when it comes to art, like we're gonna have to decide like on an art style we're gonna follow. There's a lot of things we're gonna have to really think about, right? I think there's gonna be a lot of revisions of the art, to be honest. Like the card art, I think in particular, we'll probably go through several revisions, I would imagine. But if you know me, if you've been a part of the streams or if you've known me for a few years, you know things that I'm really passionate about. And I was kind of stuck between two themes for the last several weeks. And I thought I was going to go one direction, but I ended up going another. And I will just go ahead and reveal to you what the theme is, and then we will jump into it. And the theme is coming up after the break. Yeah. We'll reveal the theme, we'll jump into it, and I want, you know, obviously everything should follow the theme, and I don't think we'll talk about it too much, but I do want there to be like some fun like little lore tidbits, because I think that's always really fun in card games. But well, that's like for later. That's maybe not even this stream, getting to that stuff. So I'm going to highlight this. You can kind of read it already, but I'm going to turn the background back to white. So I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. I've said that before. I'll say it again. Halloween is right around the corner, if you can believe it. But you might not know I like penguins. Yeah, no. No, I love Halloween. Penguins was the other theme. But as you'll see, this idea just kind of gels with Halloween a little better. That'll make sense. Now, that's not to say that there won't be penguins in this card game. There are no rules against it. But let's go ahead and jump in. So I'm going to kind of just go in order. Super open to suggestions. If you see something where you're like, that doesn't make sense, or what if like, or like, that's interesting, what if this? Just shout it out in chat. Like, we can kind of make edits as we go. Spooky penguins, yeah. That is totally a viable card, as you will see soon enough. So I want to go over first the card types. I don't know if this order will make sense. Hopefully it does. So the theme is Halloween, specifically trick-or-treating. You know, the thing that you do on Halloween. So there are 3 types of cards. And these are things that we'll brainstorm, we'll come up with together. First are monster cards, treat cards, and trick cards. So we will go over what each of these are, and then how they work, and how this card game will work as well. Let's start with the monster cards. Monster cards, you say? Yeah. So monster cards. I'm gonna try my best. These cards have 2 traits. So something I was thinking about is like, I want these cards to be mostly art. I want it to be very, very simple to look at a card and kind of understand what it's showing. I don't want there to be a ton of text. There doesn't need to be like a bunch of like really weird like, oh, this word actually means this, but you've got to look in the glossary of the like strategy book that comes with the game to understand what that means. Like, I want you to just be able to get it. You already like this, cool, we'll just wait. So these cards have 2 traits, Crave and Despise. What does that mean? Crave is the type of treat that particular monster enjoys and will give you bonus points. And then Despise is the type of treat that particular monster despises. But you will lose points in that case. These games can be cool, but definitely frustrating. Well, those games, yeah, no, for sure. Like your Magic the Gatherings, like, takes a lot to understand, right? This is not that. Something I have done as maybe is perhaps each monster has like a special skill or ability or something that like might impact play. We can talk about that more like once we go over everything. That's like a maybe. Right. But at the start of the game, you are dealt 3 random monster cards from the monster deck that is shuffled, and depending on what their tastes are, depending on what they crave and what they despise, that will determine how you are going to play the game. So ideally, every time you play the game, you will be given different monsters. You're not going to choose them. So it would always ideally be different that you're working with. And that will be like your little party of monsters that you need to satisfy. And so you will be picking up treat cards that fit their cravings, and that will net you points. So those are the monster cards. Let's talk about the treat cards. We're just gonna kind of show all of it. Treat cards. This is, I think, just definitely one area I'm looking for thoughts, ideas, feedback. These are made up of all different types of candy or other assorted treats. So I think the big thing to note here, we can't just draw Sour Patch Kids. As much as I would love to. They do need to be off-brand, legally distinct. That being said, I do think Sour Patch Palace, yeah. I do think candy corn is in play. You need this printout to be following along. So I thought about it. I think we can figure it out. I was gonna send a link in the Discord. The problem is it's tied to like, I didn't think about this before I made this doc. It's tied to my personal Gmail. So like, you know, but yeah, I can maybe I like save a PDF of this and I can send it in the Discord. Like after we go through it. Candy corn is evil, harms you. Yeah. So candy corn is in play. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is candy corn, like, we can just draw candy corn, right? Like, I don't think anyone just owns that, right? But yeah, so like, well, obviously, I don't know how many. The world is our jawbreaker, I guess. We can have a ton of treat cards. Ideally, the treat deck is like the biggest deck. Like that, this will ideally be the majority of cards in the game. Candy corn is a wild card. Oh, that's kind of funny. I like that. So I mentioned that the monsters have types. They have cravings. They have things that they like, they dislike. And that will be kind of, those will be the types, right? So you might have a monster that like loves sweet treats, like loves sweets, but really hates sour. Or maybe they love sour things, but they really hate sweets. So right now I have sweet, sour, salty. I don't know if that's what we'll land on. Maybe we'll go a different route, but that's kind of where my head went. I'm open to other thoughts, and I don't even know how many types we should have. I don't think there should be that many. I think 3 is too little. I do think 3 is too little, but I think like 7 or 8 is probably too much. So I'm thinking like maybe somewhere between like 5 to 6, maybe 4 to 6 even. But I'm open to thoughts, right? Like I'm open to suggestions. Could have combos of those things, like caramel popcorn could be sweet and salty. Oh my god, made of awesome. That's such a good idea. Okay, yeah. Combo treats? Combo types? What was your example? Caramel popcorn? Combo treats. Wizard, hello, welcome. How are you doing? Caramel popcorn is, what was it, like sweet and salty? That's a really good idea. Yeah. Always one in the group that asks too many questions or doesn't understand if you're playing yourself. No, you're sorry. You're fine. That is okay. Can you go more into... Oh, we're getting there. Yeah, Amber, we're getting there. I wanted to introduce the types of cards first, and then we're going to talk about how you play and like how this all works. Umami. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh god. Because I guess these are just like flavored profiles, right? Okay. So we'll come back to this. I love, oh my god, I love the combo idea made of awesome. That is so good. Okay. Mommy's a wild card. Players will take turns drafting treat cards into their collection and gifting them to the monsters that they've been assigned. We'll get in teriyaki ice cream. We'll get into more about how that works. But this will be a drafting game. So if you've ever played a game like it, basically we'll explain it, but you'll take turns like drafting cards from my pile in the center of the play savory like beef jerky or drinks. Jukebox and ooh. Ooh. We can make it work. We could. We could. Okay. What was it? Savory. We just put drinks. Quench. You know, so, okay, that's treat cards. Let's go into trick cards, and then I'll explain, like, how you play and, like, how this all works. Microwave modifier. Huh. Maybe that's a trick card. We'll see. Okay. So, trick cards. Obviously, you can tell not as much going on in the trick card section. Just a very vague overview. Trick cards allow the players to manipulate the game in their favor. It's a trick card. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Each player starts the game with 3 trick cards and can play them during their turn before they choose a treat card. We'll get into that more in a moment. Like the drink idea specifically, because they could be mystery drinks that may or may not be poison. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Okay, yeah. Drinks could be a reset of sorts. Like if you have more going wrong than right for treats, you can reset your palate with a drink. Oh shoot. Yeah. I'm just gonna add this here. It might not even make sense here. Mystery drinks. Poison? And reset. How do you spell palette? Is it just P-A-L-E-T? Reset palette? You know, like if things are bad. Could be great, could be awful. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah. We haven't even talked about how you play. Great. I'm happy for the feedback. Thank you so much. So let's talk about the objective, which should be pretty self-explanatory at this point. Draft treat cards to satisfy your monster and score big points. Use trick cards to gain the upper hand and get the highest score after the treat deck runs out. Sure, right. And I think that's going to be it, right? I think there's going to be a lot of ideas. I think there's going to be a lot of cards that we come up with. Oh, yeah, I'll mention it again real quick, Wizard. If you missed it earlier. I think there's gonna be a bunch of stuff that we probably end up cutting, right? Like that's what like playtesting will be for. Like we're gonna be like, oh, you know what? Like drinks were such a good idea, but it just doesn't work. Or it might be we should add a drink deck. 20 stream streak, Wizard, that is incredible. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Palette for taste, I believe. Oh, okay, I always thought, but then like it tells me, like whenever I type it somewhere, yeah, it's like no. Oh, 1L. Okay, got it. Okay. So Wizard, yeah, I will like really briefly mention it again. So the goal and intention is that one day I will be able to have this game printed and sold. Whether that's my own little shop I set up on Etsy or something, I don't know. But I would like to eventually sell this game. That being said, I think if you're like, I want to be really careful, but I think if you're someone like, you know, you and Made of Awesome specifically asked about it, but like others in chat as well, like if I know you, I would be pretty comfortable saying like, yeah, you can make art for this. I would want you to be compensated. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how that would work, to be just totally honest, because we are so far out from that being a thing. But I would want you to be compensated for it. I would feel bad if you weren't, because I think anyone who's making art for this would deserve to be compensated. You don't want you to... Well, okay. Shark Tank pitch. Yeah, we can figure it out, the logistics that, you know, later. Okay, anyways. So let's talk about... We talked about objective. Let's talk about how you play the game. I think the best way to do it is just, I have the play order written out, and hopefully this will make sense, and hopefully like you can follow. If anything doesn't make sense at all, let me know. We can make adjustments. Best part of Magic the Gathering history is they didn't pay the struggling artists. Oh no. Oh, and Wizard also, we also mentioned, like, this is another, like, far-off thing, but I think you'll see, or maybe you've already seen, how this can be expandable. How this is something that you could, in theory, make expansions to, right? You could easily be like, hey, yeah, we made a drink box, and suddenly you have drink cards, and that totally changes the game. You know, you could do stuff like that, right? Willing to pitch in 10% of the drawings for 80% stake in the company. Okay, play order. So, I tried to be detailed here. I typed this up like an hour before stream. I will go through each step. If you read ahead, cool. But we would love to see all art ice creams from you. All alt art ice creams from... Oh, okay, got it. I'm like, what? Okay. So I think that there are... So I should lead with this. There are stuff here, I think specifically the numbers, like the number of cards that I mentioned on any given step. I think that stuff will probably just change. We'll probably be like, oh, it actually... 3 doesn't make sense. It should be 2. We'll figure that out as we go and as we playtest. But at the beginning of the game, so you have 3 decks. You have the monster deck, treat deck, and trick deck. I don't know how many cards of each the final game will have. We'll just figure it out. You will shuffle all 3 decks, and then players are dealt 3 monster cards and 3 trick cards. Monster cards are laid out in front of you. Yeah, so there's no deck building. It's all shared. That was another thing I really wanted, is I did not want deck building. Now maybe we decide that we do want it, but I think for simplicity's sake, I wanted to just have 3 decks that people are dealt out cards at the start. Anyways, we'll continue. Monster cards are laid out in front of you, in front of each player. Face up. Deck stacking it is, yeah. And then trick cards are kept in your hand and they are hidden from everybody else. Expansion rules, or if the game is big, randomize the cards in the playable deck. Yeah. Oh, we can have like different rule sets too. Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, that's like hardcore mechanic talk. We'll get there. Okay. Okay. So you get your monster cards. Those are laid up face up, so everyone sees them. I think we could definitely talk about having monsters that are face down. Perhaps we put legally distinct invisible person. Not the Invisible Man. Oh, I haven't set up the next date yet, actually, so that's just gonna say today. And maybe that card is like, hey, if you have this card, you actually place it face down. That way, but like there would have to be multiple of them because you wouldn't want people to know what monster it is. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to have like a handful of those, so you wouldn't be able to just know like, oh, that card's face down. I know what monster that is. Anyways, could be a thing. And then you have your trick cards in your hand. Treat cards are then laid out in the center of the play area. And so this is like, I think something that we probably just play around with and we figure out what makes the most sense. I kind of just like pick numbers because I don't know how big the treat deck will be, right? I don't know how many cards there were going to be. But this will be 2 to 6 players. So if it's just playing 2 players, you'll deal out 5 treat cards to the center of the table. If it's 3 to 4, you would deal 7. If it's 5 to 6, you would then deal 9 cards. Something that we do need to decide together. I thought this would be a really fun thing to come up with ideas on our own as a community. Is we need to decide who is the starting player, who goes first. Have you considered the prospect of children cards? Since it's all about trick or treat. I don't know what element they would be though, unless the monsters are kids. Yeah, so I haven't considered it. It would be, maybe it's a really fun expansion. Although, there is something to me that would be very hilarious. because I don't know what this game is going to be called. We'll have to come up with a name at some point. To be like, yeah, here's the kids expansion. It comes with 40 kids cards. But I'll also, like, we'll talk about what my idea for the monster cards too, and like why I went that route. The squares and rectangle things. All kids are monsters, but not all monsters are kids. Yeah. So when we get to like the art too, new meaning of having kids. It's about treats. The game comes with a blood glucose test. Oh no. Okay, I mean, sure. The thought is that the monsters, and I think this would just happen naturally, is my thought is like, I'm thinking of if you ever see anyone like draw trick or treat art, and like your typical, like, what are your common costumes that are not based on an IP? You know, it's like there's gonna be a vampire, there's gonna be a mummy, a werewolf, you know, Frankenstein's monster. Like, I think we're gonna hit all the heavy hitters. A spider, yeah. Like, so my thought was like, it might be a thing that we choose that the art isn't so much we're drawing a monster, but it's like very clearly a kid in that costume, right? It might be we're drawing costumes for the monster cards. So like that's kind of like where my head was at. Beans for sure. Oh yeah, Wizard. I don't know if you were in at that point, but like candy corn is obviously a card. Like, I actually wanted to ask you. I didn't want to ask you before stream, but now that you're here and we know what this game is the name Chaz inspired by anything? Would like, do you legally own Chaz, or like, how do we? Because like candy corn obviously will be a thing. Will the art style be consistent or varied? Oh, that's a really good question. My thought is consistent, but something I do really like, and Pokemon does it, like Pokemon has different artists. And so I do think there is something really cool about like, Chaz is just our thing. Okay, so we could in theory have a treat card named Chaz that is just candy corn. But something I was thinking about was like, we're talking about different art styles. Yeah, like how, like, I think different art styles could be really cool, right? Of like, oh yeah, like this is and it would be watermarked, right? Like it would, like if Wizard had like a specific card that he made, like it would have Wizard's like handle on it or something. We'll get there, but one thing I want to get to tonight is at least figuring out the layout, or maybe we try a few different layouts. Thank you for the water, Beansley. Chaz TM. So good.
Mickey! It's Riku! They put bugs in him!
What?
Layouts, yeah. They put bugs in him. Oh no. So yeah, basically, so to give you a few examples, I don't know if I have one specific example. And this is, I mentioned there are some people who are here that like have played card games with me and board games with me before. It never gets old, it really doesn't. Something that we discovered is that a lot of board games and card games have really funny rules for determining who goes first. I actually find myself enjoying when a game has like some really weird rule. Who has the most food allergies? I mean, who? So one example is there's like a horror themed game. I have a few horror themed board games and card games, and one of them explicitly is like whoever most recently watched a creature feature goes first. Like that's one example. Just as long as it's not youngest. Yeah, we can't do youngest. Ideally whatever it is fits with the theme, right? But we can come back to this. Middleist goes first. Or actually here, only type out a few. Middleist goes first. Would like to land on one that like goes with the like Halloween trick-or-treat theme. Wizard, what was it? Most food allergies? is very funny to me. Yeah. You know, whoever can eat the most candy, whoever most recently ate candy corn. I don't know. Well, I think we can come up with like a bunch of these and figure out what's the best one. Mean, medium, and mode of all ages. Whoever is wearing the most candy corn colors. Whoever is sporting the most candy corn or candy corn adjacent, I can spell, I promise, colors. Whoever loves candy corn the most must prove it. Yeah, I like that one. The person in the orange undies. Well, no, you don't have to prove that one. You only have to prove if it's only the loves candy corn. Almost always you too, yeah. Someone's like, I feel like Wizard always goes first. Spend the most time planning their Halloween costume. Okay. Must prove orange undies. Whoever is... What if it's just whoever is wearing orange undies? It would be unfair. That's true. That is true. I think... So that's the other thing is like... Ideally this is... If it's something that like is... If it's something where you have to like... where it's honor system, like you should be able to prove it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we could come up with like 100 of these. Which would be kind of fun. Oh, it would be so fun if we came up with like a bunch of these. Like, I don't know, like at least like 16, let's say. We could do a tournament and we could vote. Now that is very dangerous because we would do that and like whoever is wearing orange undies would just win. And I would have regrets. Spin the candy corn, it points to the first player. Oh. Oh yeah, no. I'm not saying any of these need to stick. Oh, what if the game came with a large cardboard candy corn that you spun? So, Wizard, it's actually funny that you say that. Some old friends of mine actually made a card game that is specifically for deciding who goes first in board games and card games. I don't know if they ever got as far as like selling it, but they like got it printed. I play tested it for them once. This is many years ago. But it's a whole game about deciding who goes first. And the premise is that you would play that game before you would play another game. It was really funny. They came up with like super funny stuff. Whoever can eat the most candy corn in 10 seconds. They just have to have a candy corn on hand. Not included. Candy corn not included is written on the back of the box. Whatever it is needs to allow for the same group to play. And yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things, right? It's like the example I gave of like of a game I have, it explicitly is the person who most recently watched a creature feature. And it's like, that could sometimes just be the same person. Oh, what was best first Halloween costume? Oh, that's good. Must prove it, so you must have pictures. Okay, let's come back to this. I would love to brainstorm more. So anyways, okay, so you've laid out the treat cards. Everyone's got their monster cards. They've got your trick cards in your hand. We've decided who goes first. The older one about worst confession and being voted on. Oh, did I miss that? Hold on, let me scroll up. Worst middle school confession must... Okay. And it's okay. I get it. So everyone says what their worst middle school confession is, and then we all vote. And whoever wins the vote. Okay, yeah. Okay. So we've decided who goes first. Which brings us here. Starting player begins the round by playing. You can choose to play a trick card. You do not have to, but if you would like to, you can. And then you finish your turn by choosing a single treat and assigning it to a monster of your choice. So basically, you've got monsters, and they all have their their likes and dislikes, right? Or their craves and their despises. It has sleepover after trick or treat with a friend's vibes. Okay, yeah, okay. I will allow it then. That makes sense to me. So my thought here, and part of the game, and this is where trick cards probably come into play too, is like, you're not always going to have the right treats that you need for a monster, right? You might get put in a bad situation where you're forced to choose a treat card that is like specifically one that your monsters do not like. And so I think there will be strategy around that of like, oh shoot, like, oh, I gotta, like, my monster hates chocolate, but it's only chocolate cards right now. Or only chocolate cards that are left. And maybe there are trick cards that can like adjust things. Maybe the trick card is like, oh, you know what, I actually can switch monsters with somebody. Because I need their monster because their monster loves chocolate. And yeah, you kind of get it, right? So your turn is you play a trick card if you like. You don't need to. You choose a treat card. You assign it to one of your monsters. It has to be assigned to one of them. And then play continues in a clockwise motion. So the person to your left, if you're in like a circle. But you go around once, and then any cards remaining get discarded. So that's kind of where this comes into play, right? Like, let's say we were playing with 4 people. You would lay out 7 cards. You would go around once. There would be 3 treat cards remaining, and those 3 cards would get discarded. They'd get thrown in the trash. And then you would deal out 7 more cards, and you would keep going. Random thought. Tools that help with your gameplay. Specifically thinking of a pillowcase card, you get to hold more treats than other players. Okay. Yeah. I think anything like that we'll probably put in the treat pile, or the trick pile rather. I think a pillowcase makes sense. It totally goes with the theme, right? Did you all use pillowcases when you were trick-or-treat? Like, eventually I got like a jack-o'-lantern basket, but I definitely used pillowcases. 100%. Yeah. So yeah. You go around once. Any remaining treat cards that haven't been drafted get discarded. And then you deal out another round of treat cards to begin the next round. Pillowcase all the way. Okay. Keep pillowcase in your head because there is a spreadsheet that we're going to go to in a little bit. This time the starting player will be the first person immediately to the left of the person that started the last round. So each round a different person will be able to start. They'll be able to choose first. And then play continues until the treat deck has run out. So again, I don't know how many treat cards there will be. Maybe it's 50, 70, 80, who knows. If it gets to be really big, like I think if we exceed like 60 treat cards, maybe it makes sense to like have multiple treat decks that you draw from and that you deal out. If you've played Point Salad, I think Point Salad kind of works like that, where there are like 3 decks that you're using to then like create like a selection of cards to choose from. So maybe it would be something like that. I can kind of draw out like the way I envision this looking. After the treat deck has run out and everyone has a bunch of treats that have been assigned to their various monsters, you add up your total score based on treat cards monster bonuses and any, this should say trick. Any trick cards that may still be in play. Player with the highest score wins. So basically, the way this would work is if we go back to the monster cards, if you assign a monster a trait that it loves, that it craves, you will score points based on whatever that trait card has. So maybe we say candy corn is worth 1 point. If you give candy corn to a monster that loves candy corn, you're gonna get, let's say, 3 points instead of just 1. But if you give candy corn, let's say, to a monster that really hates candy corn, you might lose points. Maybe you lose 1 point. There could be situations where maybe you give a monster a kind of trait that, like, it's kind of neutral to. It doesn't love, it doesn't hate. You'll just get the base level of points that have been assigned to that trait card, basically, is the way I imagine it. This all makes sense. Do you think we could get away with putting in Bob the Blob? What is Bob the Blob? Who is Bob the Blob? Is there a favorite treat for each monster? Like, it may crave sweet, but its favorite is candy corn, which is worth a bonus. There could be. Let's write it down. I'm, like, not opposed to really anything. Or let's put it underneath crave. Faves. Yeah, let me look up Bob the Blob. Oh, I don't know Bob the Blob because I've never seen Monsters vs. Aliens. And unless you're talking about a different Bob the Blob, because in that case, we absolutely can't. No way. So yeah, that's the idea. Where are we at on time? Oh, an hour in. Okay. Certain types of monsters, each type could have the same favorite. Gonna throw out more ideas than will likely be accepted. No, you're totally fine. Like I said, I think a lot of this is going to be starting with a bunch of different ideas, and then over time, I think we're gonna just see, like, that makes a lot of sense. That doesn't quite work, right? Like, I do think I like the idea of faves. I think this will probably depend on just, like, the sheer number of treats, is my thought. I think, like, this is something that's like a 50-50 is kind of how I'm feeling on it. But at the same time, like, as soon as you were like, what about combo types? Like, immediately I was like, that makes all the sense in the world. That makes so much sense to me. Now, how that relates back to monsters, I don't know. Because, like, you could, in theory, then have monsters who have multiple likes. Or, oh, what if... Wait, hang on. What if some have 2 craves, while others... despises? Is that the plural? Like, what if there are monsters that just hate everything? Like, they don't have a preference, they don't want candy. Thing about copyright is when I think treats, you think brand names, Hershey's, yeah. Do we hit a point where we start coming up with... it would be really fun to come up with pretend candy names. So yeah, we didn't really get... It's not on here. It's not on here. But I'm just gonna add... I'm gonna add a little thing here. Where's my... I'm, like, so zoomed in. Lore. Some monsters have a despise unless it's paired with a crave. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Yeah. I almost wonder, though, if that is a trick card. Like, maybe it's like, oh, shoot, I've got... Oh, my God, I got this monster that, like... That has, like, these specific traits that don't really work really well. But I have this trick card that, as long as I play it, like, allows for that to be the case. Like, allows for this monster to have, like, a combination of traits that works well for it. Despises milkshakes, but loves them with French fries. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking. Yeah. I really like that. I like the idea of, like, if you're combining things, right? That would work, but only if you combine them. Could have base ingredient cards as tricks like salt, sugar, lemon juice, which could change the profile of a trait to what the monster wants. Yeah, because yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like my initial thought is like tricks would be cards you would play against other players, so that could still work, right? You could be like, I'm gonna play my salt card, which suddenly turn your sweet gummies into salty monstrosities that your monster hates, and now you lose points. Change them for other players. Yeah. But I like the idea of, like, it doesn't have to be like I'm playing this against somebody. I'm actually playing it in my favor too. I think that works. So I like the idea of, like, cards having multiple uses. Like, it's a very simple card of this just changes the flavor profile, but you can use it in different ways. Yeah. So the lore part, and this is something I think is down the line. I don't think this is something we don't even need to touch on this tonight. I think at some point it would be really fun to come up with our own brands, to come up with, like, little bits of lore. It doesn't need to be deep. It can even be, like, just a little bit, enough to get you thinking of, like, oh, there's, like, kind of feels like there's a world here, like, that they've built. Versatility adds strategy. Yes. Yep. I remember a few years ago I was watching a lecture by... Oh, someone in chat will know this. Really, really famous, like a pretty well-known fantasy author. Not George R.R. Martin. Oh, Brandon Sanderson, I think? Brandon Sanderson. He teaches at BYU, and he gives a lecture. He gives, like, a bunch of lectures on creative writing, and I was watching them. And one of the lectures he gave was how, like, a lot of people think that they need to, like, spend a stupid amount of time world building, when really all you really need to do is give just enough world building to, like, fake it, to make people think that you've spent hours on world building. So I think what we can do with this card game is you can have, like, really small little bits on, like, little, like, lore tidbits on a card. It doesn't need to be much, but it can be enough to make people think, like, oh, you've really crafted out a world here. How's it going, real quick? Welcome on in. I hope you're having a good Friday night. Happy to have ya. We're talking card games. We're talking lore. You're bad at that. You have a whole doc of just... Yeah. We don't need to do that. And we don't even need to do lore tonight. Rio, thank you for joining. I'll do a very quick summary, and then we're gonna jump into a spreadsheet that has nothing in it, but that's where we can start crafting. Oh, you know what we can do, actually? Hang on. Let me, let's talk about our task for tonight. So we've gone over the game. The game is a Halloween trick-or-treat themed card drafting game where you are given a selection of... Not I know. You're given a selection of monsters that have specific taste profiles. Some of them, one monster might really like sweet treats, but they hate salty. Love sour, but hate, sweets. And you take turns drafting treat cards from the middle of the play area, the middle of the table, to then give to your monsters to score points. There are also trick cards that you are given at the start of the game that you can play that will either benefit yourself or negatively impact another player. That's kind of the general summary of it. Yeah, let's jump into a playtest with all of the cards that we've made. So goals for tonight. Maybe later on I want to go back to brainstorming how we decide who goes first. Can a monster hit? No. Treat typings. We've already got some really good examples, but I would like to try and maybe brainstorm some more, or maybe we feel like those are enough. I want to look at card layouts later, but also I want to brainstorm some cards. So to go back through, as far as the like types, the flavor profiles, we've talked about sweet, sour, salty, umami, savory. We talked about potentially doing drink cards. So like maybe there's mystery drink, or not drink cards, but drinks, or like something that quenches your thirst. These could be, and maybe these are cards, maybe these are trick cards also. You could play a mystery drink that could be poison, who's to say? But we also talked about maybe having drinks reset your palate, or a monster's palate. So if a monster like really hates sour things, but you've only drafted sour cards for them, maybe you play a drink card that then like, you know, gets rid of those treats that you've given that particular monster. That way you're not losing points. Talk about combo types. So I guess, yeah, these are treat cards. So maybe this is like caramel popcorn, where it's sweet and salty. So it kind of plays to a few different kinds of monsters, maybe. Fall drinks like apple cider, yeah. Drinks should be tricks, I agree. Yeah. Oh my god. That was dangerously close to a really unfortunate typo, but we're fine. No one saw it. Spicy. Yeah. How did we not? How did we forget? How? Okay. Everyone breathe. It has been 84 years, that's true. Okay. So I put together, and by put together, I mean like I did nothing. I made a spreadsheet. Because if you know me well, you know I am unfortunately a fan of spreadsheets. So, I want to just like kind of flesh this out a little bit, and we can start brainstorming cards. We'll do this one at a time too. So let's actually just start with monsters, right? So for monster, we would have, let's say, Crave. What did I call it? Despise. Yeah. Only person I know to use spreadsheet for gaming. I am not the only person you know who uses spreadsheets for gaming. Thank you. What if spicy cards start stacking up as a multiplier of sorts? Some kind of counterbalance. Wait, so maybe we do a spicy expansion? You get the spicy expansion box, and it comes with Scoville counters. And so and you like, you can, yeah. Why is it bad news? There's nothing wrong with using spreadsheets for games. A lot of people do it, actually. But, okay, so I'm thinking, we talked about the potential for monsters to have either 2 Craves or 2 Despises. So I think what we can just do is, like, we'll say, like, Crave, hold on. Crave 1, Crave, oh my god, Crave 2, just, I promise I can spell, Jesus God. They would only have 2. They only have 2, but they could potentially. It is very common, yeah, it's quite common. Thank you. Sour could be similar, like you hit a certain point and start losing points. Yeah, maybe. Okay. What else would we need to... Oh. I did have it written down in my notebook, but I didn't put it in the spreadsheet. Because I wanted to, like, figure out what should be on every card. Use the spreadsheet to design your rollout pantry and power patio. That is... Or paver patio. That's awesome. Nice. So monsters should have, obviously, an image. I also use spreadsheets daily. A name, a like and a dislike, and then it was like some kind of lore text, which we can come up with later. So let's like, yeah, I mean, so obviously I'm just gonna start typing things. I'm not gonna worry about the crave and despise stuff right now. I'm just gonna start typing monsters. I do need to actually adjust this a tiny bit. There we go. Okay. Yeah. And, you know, if you got stuff, let me know. The only thing I am... My only ask, please do not suggest a monster of the pocket variety, of the PAL variety, a monster from the digital world, one that is currently owned by any kind of company. I think we are safe to say vampire, but I don't know if we can say Dracula. Is Dracula? Well, wait a minute, actually. Could we specifically say Dracula? Is that character itself, like, in the public domain? I don't know. We'll put vampire. But, like, vampire, ghost... I don't know. What if, like, ghost might be something that, like, doesn't like anything? Because I can't... I'm just gonna type, you know, I'm thinking, like, immediate come to mind when I'm thinking of, like, classic Halloween monsters. Amber, you said spider earlier. Google says yes. Vague may be better. Yeah, so I think, like, vampire, we're safe. We'll stick with vampire. So here's my question, though, right? Could we do Frankenstein's monster? Or, and that is, I don't even know how... Did we just... Is it just, like... legally distinct? I like cat, mermaid. Yeah, these don't... I guess they don't always have to be monsters. It could be... Okay, hear me out. It could be that these are not monster cards, but rather costume cards. This gets at what, like, Amber was saying about, like, the kids and stuff. Penguin. Yeah, where these are just, like... These are things that you would see kids dress up as for Halloween. And I think sexy mouse. Hold on, I mean... Skeleton. I do really like candy corn being not just a treat card. What if there's a candy corn card in every deck? Oh, zombie. So can we do Frankenstein's monster, or do we just put, like, monster? And is that how you spell that? Penguin. Sexy mouse. Kirby? No. Dinosaur is good. You know what would be great? No, hear me out. Would it be legal to have a monster mash monster in the spirit of both the song and those of us that had a mom that said pick things out of this bin and go? I don't know the answer to that, but I will tell you, if we could get away with calling this card game Monster Mash, I would be so happy. Hear me out on the dinosaur thing, because if we call them costume cards, Yeah, I don't have a legal department. I don't have a legal department. But what if the art style we go with is these are all costumes and that they're very clearly costumes, right? And so like some of these you can definitely see the kid like underneath the white sheet that is just like with holes cut in. Am I currently insured? Well, can you help me with that? I might need to set up, yeah, I might need to set up an LLC for this. Because I might actually legitimately have to look into setting up like Gwyn LLC to like sell this, like when it comes to like, yeah, I might. Such a good thing I'm in the field I am in. So what if Dinosaur is drawn very obviously as like two kids in a costume, in a dinosaur costume, and this is one that has multiple craves, multiple likes. Pirate, astronaut, robot, yep, yeah. Yeah, see, we can have like so many. Do we think horse is another one? Sure. Cheerleader, yeah, love that. Do we think Pendercoin Games PPG? Freeze top row. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. Shoot. There we go. No, wrong thing. You would think I know this. Not column. I mean, I guess column is fine too, but I don't. Oh my god. No. No columns. There we go. Okay. I'm so sorry. Beansley. PGG. Yeah, PGG. Haunted doll. Yeah. Yeah, we'll workshop this. Haunted puppet. Do we think anyone is dressing up as like a lawyer? Is that a thing? Had to work it in. Yeah, there's always a creepy doll. Raggedy Ann. So we already have 20. Like we can, yeah. I want a lot, right? So what have we got so far? Vampire, ghost, werewolf, spider, cat, mermaid, skeleton, candy corn. Yeah, wait. I love the idea that all three decks have a candy corn card that does something different. Sexy doctor. Some lawyers are monsters. Cryptids? Ooh. Absolutely, yes. Can we... I mean... Yeah, so here's the question, right? Because could we do... I'm gonna avoid Slenderman. That one might get a... That one might be weird. What are good cryptids? Could we do the... Could we do... Thin Man?
Mickey! It's Riku! They put bugs in him!
What?
The Yeti. Flatwoods Monster. Yeah, so I guess we would have to look up... We'd have to figure out... Could we do these? Or, Nessie, oh... I would love that. I would love that so much. Rue, you changed the game. You just threw out cryptids and like... Sandwich? You know, it's like... Because cryptids could be... We're talking about like doing expansion packs. Cryptids could be its own expansion pack. You want to draw the Nessie, yeah. Bear. Oh, I'm gonna type in everything, even though some of these might not stick. Flatwood's a monster. Yeti. Cryptids is such a good call. Yeah. Mothman is currently copyrighted by Michael W. Austin. How do you have a copyright for a living creature? That's my question. Wait a minute. Let's get Michael Austin on. How do you? Dang it, Michael! Always screwing it up. First The Office and now this. Parody. Legally distinct moth. Man. Could we do that? Do you think Mothwoman would be enough to sexy Mothman? So Mothman, oh god. Let's keep him there. Let's keep him there. Because I guess that's the thing, right? Is I don't know. My hunch is we could probably do cryptids. I bet you could. Moth Daddy. I bet you could. Because, like, I'm just thinking about it. Like, you see them all over the place. Like, I own multiple board and card games that have cryptids in them. I guess I could look at them to see if they, like, license them out from somebody, but if we gotta, you know, if down the line, I'm like, all right, chat, I know that this is devlog number 8, but we gotta cut the cryptids. Like, we can do that. We'll cross that bridge. Ooh. As long as Mothman isn't present, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. So Doctor is really good because Doctor is like the perfect candidate for not having any craves. Poor taste joke. Wizard! That's not any worse than our other bit. I would argue it is less bad. Is Mummy not on here? Okay, I'm sorry. Mummy. It is way less bad. Although that in and of itself is weird. I don't know. I didn't mean to say it. I made the usual, like, we'll cross that bridge, and then I remember we were talking about a very specific cryptid. Anyways. Doctor and dentist, I think... I actually... Hold on, I'm gonna make an executive decision. I'm making our first cut. I think dentist makes more sense than doctor. I think there's overlap. Cleopatra? Is that... Could we do that? Although, shoot, I guess, like... Human centipede. One craven. I'm at some point PR department vetoes. Yeah, I think at some point we're gonna have to draw a line and decide what is our target audience. I think we're gonna have to decide at some point what the target audience for this game is. We don't have to right now, but it may lead to us cutting a small handful of these cards. But it could be that the game itself is like family friendly, and then one of the expansions is like the Not Safe for Work edition. I think Exploding Kittens has that. Like where the base game is like pretty family friendly, and then there's an expansion that is very explicitly not. Yeah. So we've got 30. PR does not mean Puerto Rico. I didn't say that. I said PR department. Whale. I think we might be pretty good on these right now, because I guess we'd have to figure out, maybe this is I figure this out. We will cross that bridge. Now, wizard. Tardigrade multiple crates. We're cutting it off. We're gonna move to trait cards. I think that, so the thing that I'll figure out is whether or not we have multiples of these, or if there's only one of each of these in this deck. It might make sense that this one specifically, there's just one of each. That way you don't run the risk of like, someone is like, oh, I got 2 spiders this round. No, Beansley, we're not gonna make your mom jokes in chat, no. I do have to draw the line somewhere. Turtle craves straws, oh no. No. Oh, no. Okay, let's, drink water, Amber. Okay. So treat cards have obviously the name and a value, which is club and points. There we go. No, I'm not putting your mom in the game. Wait. Thank you for the water. We're not putting your mom in the game. No one's mom. Except for Moth Mom. That's the only mom that we're putting in the game, maybe. Trick card that makes all traits fun size. Not as many points, not as useful. Okay. Yeah, maybe it halves the points. I kind of like that. And king sized. Ooh, yeah. That's good. That's good. Oh, here's a question. I don't think this is the case. Is fun-sized and king-sized trademarked? Is that like... I don't know if that's a stupid question, but is that something... No one owns that, right? It's not like it's like one candy company that's like, oh yeah, I got it. we got fun size locked down. No, okay. Yeah, that's what I assumed, but I wasn't super sure. Cool. Okay, then we're good then. Well, let's actually hold on. Card name. Trick cards. So this one might be a little, let's like, hang on, let me get this. You've seen it across candy brands, okay. So obviously we get fun-sized, king-sized. I don't want to make them too overpowered. Is it just you have halves the points of one treat card? Hang on. No. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. So let me ask you, do we want to come up with treat cards or trick cards first? There was a few others, like we came up with drinks, right? We said drinks should be trick cards, right? Would steal a treat cards work? I think so. Yeah. Round down or round up for odd points being halved. Really, that's a really good question. I think you round up. Double is easy, right? But I think for having round up to nearest whole. It's time limited. We said drinks were tricks, right? Yeah. So I'm trying to think of how a mystery drink could work. Because it could have multiple effects, right? But we'd have to figure out how to like... how to determine... Like, is it a mystery altogether, or do you know? Like, are there different types of mystery drink cards? Where it's like, this one's poison, and you just know it? Coin flip? Oh, coin flip's not bad. I was thinking like a coin flip or a dice roll, maybe. Mystery drink. Draw a trick card and it has that effect. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it, yeah. I think it's force player to draw a trick card that immediately goes into play. Yeah. Yeah. We can adjust wording on that. I don't love the wording right there, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. Because I think it's you choose. You're like, I'm gonna play my mystery drink, and you have to choose who you are playing it on. Because then you're committed. Yeah. So it's like I'm gonna play my mystery drink on Wizard. And so you give it to Wizard. Wizard draws a trick card, and whatever that trick card is, now applies to Wizard. So maybe that trick card is like, shoot, I just got a fun-sized card, and now, yeah. Or it could be reverse, right? Like it could actually work in their favor, or it could be I'm gonna play my mystery drink on myself, and hope I get lucky. Yeah. We can go with a different name for this, but I really like the idea of a palate cleanser. And this is, I think this one you choose your mechanic. I like it. Yeah. Choose a monster in play and remove. So here's my thought. I don't want it to be too overpowered. I was immediately thinking like, oh, remove all treat cards, or choose a monster and play, remove all treat cards from that monster, and hold on, not remove. Move all treat cards from that monster to the discard pile. But I worry that that might be like overpowered, so maybe it's like you choose a treat to get rid of. Kind of like in the vein of this, right? Where it's like, it's just impacting one. Because it's like, if it's like late in the game, yeah, I think it's removing one. And maybe there is, I don't know, maybe there is a card that is like, there's only one of these, whereas there's 3 palette cleansers. And there's one card later that like would remove all of them. I don't know. Yeah. I guess it's like my worry is that we don't quite know, like late in the game, depending on how many players there are, you could have like potentially 5 or 6 treats on any given monster. And so if you can just like immediately get rid of all of them versus like one card, I'd be worried about that, but I don't know. Water rehydrate for take an extra turn. Oh, so you can choose 2 treats in a round instead of 1. Yeah, I do kind of like the idea of having trick cards that can like some that can only be played on other players, some that can only be played on yourself. Which I mean, I guess are kind of what these 2 would be. Because you wouldn't want to double another player's points. You would want to do that for yourself. Shoot, what am I thinking of? To make it advantageous, yeah. I mean, it's this one. This is one example, right? You would play this on yourself to double the point of a treat card. We would need more. A lot more. Like, I think it's probably pretty natural that, like, most of these will be... Thank you for subbing, Amber. I really appreciate it. That's 12 months. That's a whole year. Can you believe it? All points even, so you don't have to round.
Mickey! It's Riku! They put bugs in him!
What?
Oh. What? Candy corn. I don't know what the trick candy corn card does yet, but we can figure it out. Half an elephant. Wait, what? Yeah, so having them be even numbers. Could make sense. I'm thinking about it. Because I guess it would, yeah, because it would have to, because like if you were to, if we said, oh, have an elephant, yeah, that's right, yeah, how, I mean, of course I knew this very obvious fact about elephants. I definitely was aware of that. To Beansley's point though, if we said that candy corn, the treat, was worth 1 point, and you want it to fun size candy corn, and we're saying you would then round up, that wouldn't, it wouldn't do anything. So maybe it's round, it could be round down. To which, in which case, if you fun size candy corn that was worth 1 point, it would just be 0. People can't do math. Yeah. No, I am very aware of this. I am very aware of that, unfortunately. People is you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably right, as we make them even. 1 minus half. One minus half a baby elephant. Yeah. So I guess the lowest scoring card would be 2. We can figure out the values and stuff. I might go back and forth on this a little bit. I don't know what candy corn does as a trick. Oh shoot, but Jacobus mentioned being able to take 2 turns. Right, drawing 2 treats. Or drawing an additional treat. Where was that? I gotta scroll up. Water / rehydrate. For taking an extra turn. There is a Monster Mash game, which is a card game. Okay, well, we'll come up with a different name. So, ability, draw an extra treat. Well, here's my question. Bucket. Monster can hold extra candy. That's, okay. So, Wizard, you're right, but I have to give it to Amber for first suggesting a pillowcase. Yeah. Which I guess is 1 word. Ooh, do we set limits on how much treats a monster can hold then? Pillowcase 2 extra candy. Yeah, maybe it's this. There's a problem with limits, and I could explain it. But it would involve doing math. And we've established that we don't want to do math, right? Or as little as we need to. Okay. Here. Let's come back over here. You can play with a different size group, right? So if you're playing just with 2 players, inherently, by the end of the game, you're going to have more treat cards just between the 2 of you. So that means the limit for each monster will need to be higher. If it's 3 to 4 players, that limit will need to be smaller, and if it's 5 to 6, it'll need to be a bit smaller, because it'll just be a smaller pool, right? Or it'll be the same size pool, but there'll be a larger group of people to choose from. The math expansion, I like that. Yeah. So here's a thought. Well, okay, so a pillowcase. Fog machine, can't see, skip a turn. Yes. That's perfect. That's in. Chosen player skips. Skip turn this round. Yeah. Have more monster for 2 people. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. I don't know. I think the numbers will have to just kind of... I think the numbers we're gonna have to play around with a lot as we play test. Like right now we're saying like, okay, you get 3 monsters at the start, but that might not make sense. Like once we play it a few times, it might be like, yeah, that's not. Trick card, candy tax. Yeah. Candy tax, and it's definitely like, the image is just like a parent. The image is just dad, like stealing like just a hand, like just taking candy out of the jack-o'-lantern bucket. No, I already said we're not adding moms. No one's mom. Candy tax. It's not even just losing a treat, you are stealing a treat from another player. Whereas, yeah, cavity or the dentist can steal a card. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like really early, and I'll just put this here just in case, and we don't need to commit to this. But kind of what's the thought, like, what if the monster cards do have unique abilities? So if we go down to dentist. Oh, hang on. All right, so if we go to dentist. It could be something like that. Stomach ache, loses a crave. Allergic to soy, loses. So yeah, sugar high, I don't know. Ooh. Well, maybe. This is something we don't need to commit to this yet, because we would need to then come up with abilities for all of these, or maybe just some monsters have them. And gain a turn. Well, we have like gain a turn card. The pillowcase. Basically. What do we think? What does candy corn do? Does candy corn... Oh, shoot. No, we brainstormed a bunch of trick cards earlier. Basically modifier cards, right? So, like, salt. Shoot, we'd have to scroll up. Made of Awesome, do you remember? Candy corn gets all over. It does. We had salt. I guess we had for sugar, but this would modifier turns a chosen treat into or well, changes treat type to salty. Sugar, lemon juice. I think, didn't we have like a few? Was it just salt and sugar? I kind of want to look up. I'll have to do it on this other screen. I mentioned at the start that some of the idea I had for this is your card game vegan. Well, no, I mean, bacon makes it savory. Yeah, no, I think that's good. I mentioned earlier that part of the idea for this game came from another card game I made. I will go back to the candy corn suggestion. Candy corn lets you activate a monster ability. Oh, okay, yeah, Yeah, because we'd have to discuss how that works if they have abilities. Okay, yeah, to savory. I mentioned that part of the idea for this came from a card game I was like working on a few years ago. And I kind of want to pull up that, like the spreadsheet I had for that, to see what card ideas I had. Bacon is also umami. Do we choose? Let me see. Oh god, I gotta find the folder. Okay. I might bring over a few of these. Let me look at them. If any of these make sense, I guess. We would need a more fitting name for the theming. Pepe Sylvia doesn't exist. Wait, what? Gotta go. Oh, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you. Bye. We'll talk to you later. I feel like that gif of It's Always Sunny of Charlie losing it at the corp. Oh, it's fine. No, we got it. Umami and savory or close categories. Yeah, I guess that's kind of how I viewed them. Breaking news, watch out for cottage cheese and queso fresco products. Ooh. Ooh, okay. That's not great. Yeah, no, I eventually got there, Made of Awesome, but thank you. I missed that. I got to that message second, is what happened. Okay. So I'm actually gonna bring over some things that I had noted down. These cards that I had noted down for this other game don't really work super well, but some of them do. It's actually really funny. I had a Sugar Rush card. What did I have? The thing I had it do does not. I'm gonna type this out. Maybe it doesn't work. It might not make sense, but no, we'd have to change it. It's actually really similar to king sized. I had a Sugar Rush card that basically that would add 2 points to a card. So it's not exactly the same. But it's close. Anything else? Yeah, shoot. A lot of these don't really fit with this. Oh, but I can come back to here. I'm gonna add some more monsters. We do not have Goblin. Oh, okay, question. Okay. Do we... Where is it at? It would be... So we have Spider. Would we prefer Spider or Tarantula? Do we upgrade Spider to Tarantula because it's bigger and scarier? I'll let you decide. What else we got? So there is something we didn't put on here that to me seems very reasonable to include. And I'm surprised nobody said it, but maybe it was just because it's super obvious. But you know, something that kids would dress up for trick-or-treating is a wizard. Is that okay? Or can I not do that? Let me know. A ghost. We put ghosts on there. What else do I got? You're reading basically don't buy any dairy from 365. So from like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. Okay. Good to know. Thanks for the tips. Oh, a wizard. Yeah. And spicy. Not Stacy's mom. So basically, like, kind of looking at this other thing, what I did is I had like themes, like different themes. So one was like, like out of this world. So it was a lot of like alien related things. One was like generic, more like generic monsters. But I think I've pulled over the ones I would want to pull over. Okay. That was worth it. Not a whole lot of carryover. That makes sense. Beans. Oh, well, okay. I mean, obviously, right? What about a fairy mermaid? Despise veggies. Despise chores. It's really, yeah. A fairy mermaid. Potato. Do you think treats can also be like, I mean, tricks can also be, shoot. Okay, so like, let's think trick or treat, right? Did I not see that Barbie movie? I don't know that I did. For tricks, I'm thinking back to trick or treating. What are the things that like we hate, like you hated getting? Like there was always the house that had like an apple, right? And like, listen, I love apples. I love, it's one of my, they're top tier fruit, top 5 fruit even. But no one wants an apple for trick or treating, right? And so I'm like thinking that add chocolate makes it sweet. The brick Lego gum, Tootsie Rolls. When it's got a whole full-grown carrot. Assorted veggies. What are like did you all ever get like non-food things? I'm trying to think. Not even like toys. I feel like I remember Mainly the love scare. Not drugs, no. We have to behave. A toothbrush. Yes, yep. Toothbrush and toothpaste. Floss. We don't even need to think about effects right now, right? We're just like what are just things? Throwing stuff at a wall. Umber, I think you can write hell. I think. If you can't, then you're fine. Give out tiny skeleton toys. Didn't even taste good. Big time jerk. It was double hockey sticks. Okay. You two, when you got sick? Well, if they're toys, you probably shouldn't eat them. Would be my guess. Do we have skeleton in the monster / costume? We do, right? Yeah. Let me sort that again. Okay. Too many full carrots, drugs, and skeleton. Well, this chat's moving way too fast. Sugar-free candy. Yeah. Candy. Sugar-free. I do like carrots though. Laxative. Do we want more drinks? Half spheres that go pop? What is that, wizard? Fruit punch. What kind of... Wait. I don't know that I've ever gotten a drink. Well, maybe like a... No. Maybe like, pushing... Oh, wizard, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got an apple juice. Okay. I was gonna say, like, the little juice packs. Yeah. Like a juice box. I don't know what it would do yet. But, you know. We'll figure it out. Okay. We've got a reasonable amount. Let's switch over to treat cards. So, okay. Jelly bean. Candy corn. Chocolate. Caramel popcorn. I really liked. Points. Oh, and they need typings. Type. And we'll put 2 in case we want to do multi types. So what, this was sweet and savory? Right? I think. Grapes with the skin removed. Slinkies, oh, yeah. Frozen skinless grapes. What about, like, have you ever considered, just throwing this out there, have you ever thought about, like, cooking grapes? Sweet and salty. Yeah, I was like, that's not right. Thank you. Gummies. Okay, I'm trying not to, like, just name brands. Jelly bean, candy corn, chocolate, caramel popcorn, gummies, peanut butter cups. So, do we say, like, chocolate bar? And then, could you... I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess it's not... We would just say a peanut butter cup, right? Hard candies, like Jolly Ranchers. Yeah, hard candy. Jawbreaker. Gum? No, no, no. Chewing gum. Lollipop. Just sort of like, yeah, just sort of like naming candies, right? I'm trying to think of like things that were common. I mean, gosh, like especially fun-sized candy bars were like, I feel like you would just get tons of those, right? Cotton candy, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Peanut butter chocolate. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess we could just say peanut butter cups. I don't know. It feels risky. I don't know that I would... So, I guess it's also the thing that we would have to think about is, do we limit it? No. Stop it. Beansley. No more. Cookies. Yeah. Do we limit it explicitly to things that you would typically get trick-or-treating? Or do we open it up to like, well, you know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree, right? Because cotton candy, I don't know that I've ever gotten, but you're good, Made of Awesome. I see you. I don't know that I ever got candy corn or cotton candy trick-or-treating, but like it makes sense. Like I feel like it fits the like theming. Chips trick-or-treating. Yeah, we could do potato chips. I probably have at some point. It's been a while, so I don't remember, but I'm sure I have. Pretzels, sure. Candy bacon is what you were thinking when you said savory, but that's not a trick or treat thing. Yeah, but we also like we put bacon on here, so we're not above it. So we could. I mean, I'm kind of down to just like put stuff down here. Yeah, I actually am confident that I got beef jerky trick-or-treating before. Maybe we just call it jerky. I don't know. I'm like very confident I've gotten that before, trick-or-treating. This is another reason I chose like this theme, because I was like, this will be so easy to just like brainstorm a bunch of stuff. Because I do think like, yeah, to be inclusive to all the yeah, you gotta. Do we? Thank you for the water, Beansley. And in fairness, I don't know that I've ever gotten caramel popcorn trick-or-treating, but I just really like the idea. Oh shoot. Okay, so absolutely 100% candy apple has to be. And you could almost, if we want to put drinks and trick cards, apple cider, although I guess it feels, I don't know, maybe you put, we'll have to talk about it. Because that's not a trick. But also, neither is a king size. But it's fine. Yeah, candy apple for sure. I'm not putting razor blades in this game. Bugs in the candy, oh. And it's just a drawing of Riku. It's too dark. I think I will have to eventually start drawing a line. Now, if we want to talk about later on, the Not Safe for Work expansion. Chocolate covered insects as a trick card is really funny. That's so funny. Oh, I see, wizard. Yeah, like, oh my god, no. But yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, chocolate covered insects is that is genius. Okay. We're waiting on tree. Yeah, let's get so many. So we have 37 trick cards. We've got 22 treats. Yeah, let's get a bit more. And I do need to take a quick break in a few minutes. But when we come back, we can do. Maybe we look at card layout. We could talk card layout when we get back. Trying to think of other candies. I might just Google like what it common candy. The thing is, you're just gonna get a bunch of like name brands, right? Yeah. Can't do Skittles. What is the oh. Taffy. It's not Laffy Taffy. We've covered the basics. Yeah, I would like to get a handful more Scuttles. No. Okay, so we've done gummies, hard candy, lollipops, chocolate bars, taffy, candy apple, jerky. Do we have, we do, it is going to be really sweet dominated, so we might need to come back. Caramel. Yeah, caramel. We probably do need to come back and like get more to just things that aren't sweet. Those strawberry candies that grandma mysteriously has, I love those. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, because I do think a good amount of these are, well, cookies, or not cookies, god, potato chips, pretzels, candy bacon, okay, jerky. Okay. You have them at work? Nice. Grandma pocket candy. Just so... The grandma's pocket modifier. Yeah, it's like... The name is specifically like... Strawberry candy that... just like grandma has. Or something like that. Yeah. Okay. I feel really good about all of the different ideas we've thrown out there. So we're gonna do, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna refill my water. I'm gonna stretch a little bit. When we come back, what I wanna do is, we've done that. We did a good amount of this. We got like a handful of these, so I feel okay about that. I would like to do card layout, and I would like to come back to this too, deciding who goes first. But when we come back, we will talk card layout, which will bring us to Clip Studio. And so while I'm on break, I will switch around. I've got my drawing tablet here. We can kind of discuss like how this might look. We can try out some different things. We maybe even can do like a very rough sketch of a couple things, of a couple cards. I don't know, we'll see. But we're gonna do a quick break first. Thank you all so much for coming to hang out for this. I really appreciate it. Having a really good time. Having a really good time so far. I hope you are too. I think I'm also on break. I'll see if I can like take that Word document, the Google Doc, download it as like a PDF or something, and I'll post it in like the Discord. Because I know Aubrey, you were like, I would like to be able to follow along on that stuff. So I could just post that there, and that will obviously like, that's gonna be a living doc. It'll be edited, I'm sure, but we can have it there at least for now. So any of you watching can look at it in the Discord and follow. So anyways, thank you so much for hanging out. Really appreciate it. Yeah, visual aid. I will be back shortly. Until then, we're gonna throw you to BRB. Enjoy the music. I'll see ya in a few. we're back. Hello everybody. I hope you're doing well. Mimsy Whimsy, thank you for following. I really appreciate it. I don't know how long ago that was, but we've only been on break for a few minutes, right? So, hi, what are we doing here? We're making a card game. I don't know if any of you weren't aware of that. So, this is the first of many streams, I'm sure, where we're putting together a card game. We are following a kind of Halloween trick-or-treat theme. We've got 3 different card types we're working with. Monster, maybe costume cards make more sense, we'll see. But kind of classic, you know, typical monsters you might see people dressing up as for Halloween. We have treats, so your standard treats, some of which you might have gotten trick-or-treating, others are just, you know, things that maybe you didn't get trick-or-treating, but we kind of, you know, they're treats. They're fun candy that we like. Cotton candy, things like that. And then trick cards. So the trick cards are things that you would probably typically play against somebody else, you know, to maybe give them less points, or, you know, it would screw something up for them. We've gotten a good amount of brainstorming done on different cards. I think all 3 categories we've got a fair amount listed. If we pop back into the spreadsheet, you will see that we got a lot. Also, the other thing is I did post, there's a PDF file in the Discord. If you go to the card game channel, I did post a PDF file of the working document. Obviously, that can change. Obviously, details in that may be different. Who is to say? Things will change, but that is at least what it is right now. So if you want to view that and look at it, you can. But yeah, we've got a bunch of monster cards, 36 even. We need to fill out details, but we can do that later. Got a bunch of treat cards brainstormed, 19. Trick cards got about 21. And honestly, like, I'm sure we'll think of more, right? Like, I'm sure we'll think of others that we can add. I'll think of more. But, you know, like, we might even cut some. But my thought is, at least when it comes to the trick and the treat cards, is there will be multiple of each kind. You know, like in a deck. So we probably won't need more than, you know, 20 different kinds of cards, right? Depending on how big the deck is going to be at some point. But we'll figure that out. What I would like to do for the remainder of the stream is I do want to come back to this, the like, how do we decide who goes first? We've got some thoughts. I would like to get a bunch of things. There are some that are definitely on theme, like the candy corn one. Best first Halloween costume. I would like to get some more ideas here cooking. We don't need to decide on one specific one tonight, but I would just like to get, you know, maybe a handful more ideas at some point. We can come back to that though, because we do have 8. But the thing I want to do right now is talk about card layout. So I have in my notes, I actually have like some thoughts drawn out, just a little bit, in my notebook. But let me I'll put my phone down here. I'd like to just kind of draw out, maybe sketch out some things. We can even look at some of the cards that we've brainstormed, and I could maybe do some very rough sketches. I don't think I'm going to actually try and like draw out anything, but we can do like some rough sketches and just kind of see how they look and what we think. Cool. Okay. Well, let me grab my drawing tablet. You remember when we did art streams? We're back at it. So I just gotta move my keyboard. Let me do... I forgot to move it on the break. That's my bad. I downloaded the PDF and I was like, what else? But I think we're good. Okay. So I like went online a little bit before stream and I was like, what? I was like, what size dimension should I be using? And I found like this on Clip Studio's website. It was like, actually use this. Just use like A4. And, you know, we'll go from there. But we're going to do some very rough sketching, right? There are 3 card types. Monster, Trick, and Treat. All of them will be different. We'll have a slightly different layout, right? Because each of them does have, each of them will have different pieces of information on them. Monsters will have generally the most, or not the most, well, I guess it depends. Treats will have the least amount of information. It'll just have the name of the card, the actual drawing itself, and then just a number. That number will represent how many points that card is worth. Tricks will have the name of the card, and then it will have like a small description of what that card does, like what the effect is when it's played, and then obviously the drawing. And then the monster cards will have the name of the card, the actual drawing of the monster itself, and then it will have 2 values, or not values, it will have 2 different like types or things that it likes, the craves and the despises. So we need to basically come up with, I don't know if we'll do it tonight. Maybe we could do it tonight. We would need, so here's what I'm thinking. Let's start with monster card, right? So just very, very rough, like just thinking layout wise. Let's do pencil. No pencil. Although that might not come through. Yeah, no. Let's do... Cool, okay. Oh, it's been a while. It's been about 2 months, I think, since I've drawn. It's like the longest break I think I've had drawing, because we did so much of it last year. Anyways, so monster card, I'm thinking like, you know, somewhere like, you know, along the top center, that is, you know, card name. Oh, we need, hold up. Right, and then obviously, you know, picture itself, the drawing. But for monster cards, you would have... My thought is you would have right here would be its like... That's the crave, right? Generally. I know we talked about monsters maybe having 2 craves or 2 dislikes or whatever I called it. Despises. But that would be there. But these would be like symbols. So we would need to come up with, I would need to draw like, what does sweet look like? What is the icon for sweet? What's the icon for savory? What's the icon for salty? I would need to have that. And then, because then you would just have a small little icon that's in the bottom left or the bottom right. We'd also need some way to, like, it would be, I guess, if it's something that is like a positive, like if it's the crave, I think you could just have like a little plus sign maybe. Like that's like, oh, that's a positive, right? And maybe it's a, you know, it's a minus sign if it's a despise, if it's something that it doesn't like. Yeah, so you know, something like that. It's kind of it's kind of what I'm thinking about, just like rough design wise. I think that's kind of how like the layout for a monster card would look. The thing is though, this doesn't leave a lot of room for any text. So if we wanted monsters to have abilities, if we wanted to give them flavor text, Crave could have something to do with Drool. Oh, like the icon? Oh, maybe. Well, no, I guess we wouldn't have maybe, yeah, instead of like a plus or minus. Because I was thinking like a plus would be like, oh, that's the good one. That's its likes. But maybe, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We could try out a handful of things. So that's kind of what Monster Card is looking like, as how I see it. Again, if we wanted them to have abilities, maybe what it would be is like these two icons would be higher, and you could have room for like a little box right here that would have something. I don't know. If we said like Sugar Rush was an ability, and that would have like a description. Maybe, I don't want it to get too busy, but like we'd have room. We could make that work. But I would like, one thing I would like is that for any of the cards, like the majority of the card itself is the art, is what I would prefer. If we can make that work. I know that I was talking about like flavor text and lore earlier, but I don't want to I don't want to put too much if it's going to like overshadow the art and everything. Obviously very rough sketch. That's kind of what I'm thinking for the monster card. Let's do, can I just like duplicate this and I can't. Give me just a moment. Let me hide my screen for a moment. Yeah. So we're right here. So I want to go to new. Oh, sweet. It does keep my settings. Great. Let's make 2 more of these templates. Amazing. Okay, and we come back here. Okay, so that's like monster card, right? Let's look at, for the treat card, these other 2 would be simpler, right? I have a pretty good idea of what I would want from them to be. So I think all cards will have this kind of, and I don't know if it's like a rectangular box or what it is. Maybe it's like pretty transparent. But you know, card name at the top, like that can be consistent across all of them. And then if this is a treat card, I think it's like mainly art. And then my thought is bottom right, you would have like a point total. So maybe it's 2, right? So something I really like, and I'm not going to name any specific games that do this. It's like actually quite a few, and I just think it's I just think it's a really good design, like card design. But something I picked up on when I was really getting into card games and board games, like a few years ago, is this idea of putting specific bits of information either along the bottom or like in a corner or along the side of a card, with the idea that you would kind of be stacking these cards, but you would stagger them a little bit so that you could see like really key pieces of information without having them all laid out. So you can kind of keep them organized, but you would have the information you need available to you. And so my thought is like this part here, even like with the 2 or with whatever the score, like the point value is, probably wouldn't be super large, right? Because you could have it in the bottom corner, and then if you've got like 3 to 4 traits that you have stacked on a monster, you could have like, let's say right here, this line would be the bottom of another card. And so you could see its point total here. And then you could have the bottom of another card stacked on top, just a little bit higher. And you could see its point total here. You know, so maybe this is, I don't know, maybe this is a 4. Like that's a really good trait card. Maybe this is also a 2. But you would do something like that, right? Because I think as you're drafting trait cards, you're giving them to a monster, and maybe you're sliding them like underneath the monster card, but you're leaving the bottom visible of each card, and that's where like your information is. That's where the details that you want to have is still being displayed. Makes it easy to count, makes it easy to like, you know, when you're tallying up your score, you can just look at it. A lot of the games that I own do things like this, and I have found over time that it's really good. It's actually really helpful. It's really good design. So just something I was thinking about when I was thinking about like, well, where would you put in the point total? Obviously, you'd probably put it in the corner, maybe along the bottom, maybe along the top, but you'd put it somewhere so you kind of stagger your cards like this. Is kind of my rationale. But we're gonna delete that. What's a treat card that we could just very quickly do, like very quickly just be like, oh yeah, here's a rough sketch. What do we want to draw? We do a chocolate bar, maybe. Lollipop. Candy corn. I drew candy corn. Although we could draw candy corn for all 3. That's actually kind of funny. So here's candy corn number 1 as a monster card. Here's candy corn number 2 as a treat card. And this one obviously is not a living, breathing candy corn. So it could be like, you know, again, very rough. Not trying to make good art tonight. We're just very rough sketching right now. But yeah, candy corn. Looks just like it. Actually, looks just like it. So that's what I'm thinking as far as treat cards go. And then for trick cards, you'll notice, like, again, pretty similar. These are ones that would actually need to have text on them. Because these are ones that would have like effects, would have things that are happening when you play them beyond just like scoring points. So card name at the top. And then for these, I think we would need, you know, I don't know exactly what the size would need to be for the text box, but there would need to be like actual stuff here, right? It could be transparent. It could be like slightly, like a little, lower the opacity a little bit, so you're still getting some of the art behind it. But yeah, and then, you know, a picture here, so we could draw, could do candy corn again, or we could find, you know, something else. Let's see. We haven't decided what candy corn does as a trick yet either. I know there were some suggestions. I want to do one that has an actual effect so we can like I can type out something. I like candy tax. Let's do that one. You're gonna be a sleep bean. Jacobus, thank you so much for hanging out and giving all your suggestions. It was really appreciated and helpful. Thank you, thank you. I hope you have a good sleep bean. Yeah, let's do, we're probably only gonna go to 11. Also, Beta Boston, thank you as well for all of your suggestions and for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. I'll figure out when we'll do another one of these soon. It'll be March for sure. I just got to figure out exactly when. I don't want it to be too far out, but I don't know just yet. But yeah, thank you both. I hope you enjoy being sleep beans. Have a good rest of your night. We're only going to go for probably another hour also. If that, I don't want to go past 11. And we got some good stuff. We got some good stuff done for this, so. Yeah, so we were doing what? The, candy tax, yeah. So if we did, let me erase some stuff here. Trying to think of how I want to draw candy tax. We're gonna, again, very rough sketching, so don't expect anything good here, but... Oh, I did pencil. That's my bad. I don't know. I was like thinking of the little candy, like the jack-o'-lantern buckets you would fill up with candy for Halloween and just like having a hole in the bottom where just candy's falling out. But what was our... well. What was our like description for this? steal a trait from another player. So the image does not fit the text at all, but like we'll figure it out. It's fine. And I would use actual, I would not, to be clear, any text in this game would not be my handwriting, but yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking for the trick cards too, right? So like these would have a bit more going on where it's the card name, it's the art, but it's like an actual effect of whatever the card is doing. Whereas the actual treat cards are just, it's basically the picture and like a point value. And then, of course, you would then have the monster cards, which would have the drawing, the name of the card itself, but then it would have details of like what type of candy it likes, what type it doesn't like. So we would need icons for that. Amber, I know you're suggesting draw for Crave, so we would need icons for the basically flavor profiles, right? So we come back over here. Oh, let's scroll up. So for the drinks, I'm actually gonna go ahead and delete this part because we decided like move them to the trick cards, right? So we'll get rid of that. No, one more. There you go. So sweet, sour, salty, umami, savory. We were kind of, I think Jacobus was saying like umami and savory. Do we think combining them? Did we think just going savory? Maybe. That's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of what I'm thinking. We do sweet, sour, salty, savory, spicy. The 5 S's. I think that might... I might be pretty satisfied with these 5. And I want to write them down in my notebook too, just to like have them. Where is my pen? Oh, there it is. Okay. Like, I think I lost it. So we would do sweet, sour, salty, spicy. Okay. So we need icons for these. Obviously, some of these are super simple, right? Some of these are just straight up. Let me actually go back and I'm gonna hide my screen again because I'm gonna make a new like file here. But some of these I think are just straight up like, for spicy it can be a fire, like it can just be a little flame. Let me do, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll do the same size, but I will do like rough sketches of what like I think each of the icon could be, each of the icons could be. Where's my drawing pen? There we go. Okay. Maybe we do these 5 and call it. Let's do... These will still be rough sketches, but I'll put maybe a little more effort into them. There's my ellipse tool. And we need 5 of these. Yeah, we'll have more than 5. Well, more than enough room for 5. More than even. Yeah, okay. So we can... So let's see. So for spicy, I think that's super easy, right? It can just be flame, a fire. Again, these will be very rough, but I think you could do... No, I kind of want them to be... something like that. I don't know. It's bad. It's not great. It's fine. So that would be like spicy. I'm just gonna draw it like along. Yeah. There. The other ones are a little harder for me to think. So sweet, sour, salty, savory. Ooh, you know what it could be too is like, it could basically kind of be emotes. So it could, instead of the flame, it could be like faces. So spicy could be like a face that's kind of very flushed red. Maybe there's like fire in the eyes. Sour is like more like puckered like lips, or like you kind of face that you would make if you're like eating something sour. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't want it to get too complicated. That's the thing, is I would want the symbols to be really simple. Like this is just, you know, we do add some color, it's just fire. Right? It's not the best flame, I can do better. Right? I'm not really trying. And that's fine. We've all seen that I am slightly better than that. But sweet, sour, salty, and savory. Might just be things for me to think on, to be honest. Spicy, sour, sweet, salty, and then savory. Okay. So I think I'm getting a good idea of what I would like to do the next stream. I think next stream we could probably spend a good amount of time like actually just like designing these icons and making like actual versions of them and not like super rough. Yeah, I think we maybe, because once we have those, we could start dropping them into monster cards, and we can make some monster cards probably. Yeah, I think we're poised to do a lot of art next time. And that would give me time to find, just like look at some references too, and just like kind of figure out like what style I want to go for with this. I might look at other card templates, not templates, but other card layouts I might just open up some card games that I have and just look at the layout and look what they do. I would love to see just a bunch of different types of layouts and just see if there's anything that like sticks out to me, or anything that's like, oh, I like that game does that, or I don't like the way that game does something, and just see from there, because that might change the way I want to have some of this stuff laid out. Yeah. And then one thing also is figuring this stuff out. This might be something I spend time on my own brainstorming too, and maybe I come up with some things too, and we can decide next time what we like. I'm wondering if there's any way... I don't think next stream we'd be ready to do any kind of playtesting, but I think there is potential. Oh, you know what we could do? Maybe what we do next time is we get the icons, like some rough icons made for the treat types. We could get cards made based on what we've come up with. We obviously need to figure out like the likes and dislikes for these monsters. And, you know, we need to fit in typings and make sure that they're like somewhat even across the 5 types that we have. And also determining points too. That's the other thing. But we could do that. We could get a bunch of cards made that just don't have art, basically. So they'd be like very basic cards, which is totally fine, because art can come later. But we could get like some cards made and maybe try and get them into Tabletop Simulator next time, and see. That might be a push. Maybe we try and get ready and then the 3rd stream. So maybe we do in March. What are the Fridays in March? Where is my phone's down here? Let me pull up my calendar on my phone, not on my computer. Where is that? What are the Fridays of March? What are we looking at? Or what are like what's like the next month even look like? So today's the 9th. March 8th is possible. March 8th is possible. We could, I don't want to like commit to it yet, but what we could possibly do is on March 8th, we get a bunch of like finer details figured out. We get cards made without any art. So it's like the name of the card, the value, any effects it has, any abilities, anything that we get that like figured out. And I can even do some of that off stream too, is like just kind of ironing out some things. So we get that figured out in that stream. And then what we could then do is either the week after or even the next day. So it could be like Friday into Saturday. We'll figure it out. Or heck, maybe it makes more sense. The next card dev stream could be like a Wednesday stream or a Monday stream that leads into Friday. We get a bunch of this stuff figured out. We get cards kind of made just without art. And then I get them into Tabletop Simulator. And then that Friday, I can get some people together to do like a quick play test. Could do that. The question is that enough time? And I'm not sure. It might be that. It could just be March 8th we do everything I mentioned, and then the next Friday on the 15th, we try to get a playtest together. I'm just thinking, is that enough time? Because if I want to try to plan a playtest, I'd want to give like advance notice in like the Discord, and just see who is available on that day, on that night. So I'll figure it out. That's like homework for me. I think goals for next time. Let's like write those down. And I do think I think we're wrapping up. I'm pretty satisfied with what we've got. And all the suggestions that came, that was super, super helpful. A lot of really good ones. I expect there to be a lot of stuff that like sticks, a lot of stuff that we probably decide to cut. And by we, I mean I. Or maybe we all decide to cut too. But let's talk about, let's like type up like what are the things we want to do. I've played at least one game before. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah. That's all you need. Let me pull my thing back here. Goals for next stream. So just fleshing out cards. Card details. Oh my gosh, I can type, I promise. I actually have this like drawing glove on that does not help. So specifically point values, monster, I'm just gonna call them likes and dislikes. Maybe that's just what it becomes. I keep we know what that means. Craves and despises or whatever. Effects for trick cards. Getting those card details onto cards. Or maybe we just say make cards without art. So it's like just strictly the details, strictly the names of the cards, words, no art. I would like, if we have time though, design icons for sweet, salty, savory, sour. What was the fifth one? Spicy. Who goes first? I think that's good. I think that's like good goals. Maybe we do all of that. Maybe we get farther. Maybe we don't do all of it. The 5 S's, yeah, exactly. So I think if we can do that, basically it's no. Prep for getting cards into Tabletop Simulator. Now I don't know if that's something that we could do on stream. I need to look that up. So I think before the next stream I'll look up like how I would actually do that. The good news is I think it's really simple. I think it's like once I have the card image files, like I could just put them in a folder, and I think that's it. And Tabletop Simulator like handles the rest of it. So that would be goal for next stream, and then before. Well, shoot, I don't know if I would want to plan a playtest until I knew that we could get through these things, because I wouldn't want to be like, well, let's do a playtest the week after the next stream, and then we don't get through all of this, and I'm like, actually, never mind, just kidding. Just kidding, we gotta push it back. I wouldn't want to do that. Would a week be enough notice? I guess is the thing. If we said March 8th is our next card dev stream. If we get, I mean, heck, we kind of don't even need to get this done. But if we got these two things done and kind of that, but mostly these two. And then we said, okay, end of the stream, like in 1 week on next Friday, who wants to do a playtest in Tabletop Simulator? Do we think that's enough time? Enough of a heads up? Because it would then be a Friday, so like it runs the risk of people having plans. We could just do it, and then, you know, if we only get like, you know, 2 other people. Karkav, yeah, Joel, hello, I hope you're doing well. We are wrapping up, but if you would like to, I can show you what we've got. I have no problem giving you the quick overview. We're kind of talking about, I'm talking about like what next stream is going to be and what we need to do to get prepped for like playtesting. Which would just be some of us hopping into a Discord, in the Discord server, hopping into a call and into a voice channel and just... Oh, that's actually reminds me, another issue here. So I own Tabletop Simulator on Steam, but if anyone is wanting to playtest this, I think you would also have to own that. Now the good news is, I believe it is very cheap. Let me check. Because that does kind of throw a wrench into this. $20? Uh-oh. You're right, it is $20. Huh, okay. I wonder... Yeah. Shoot. I think I bought it for $10 when it was on sale a long time ago, and I think I just assumed that it was 10. Sometimes it goes on sale. Yeah. Shoot. Okay, and I don't know if there's a way... Yeah, I think people do just have to own it. That throws a wrench into this, huh? Been waiting for it to go on sale again to play cost. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, Jewel, I'm so glad you brought that up. I would have not even thought about it. Okay, yeah, I mean... Big wrench. Yeah. It does go on sale. I have got it. I got mine for like $10 years ago. But the thing is, if it's not on sale right now, I don't know when the next Steam sale would be. I guess they do it pretty frequently, to be fair. But I don't know. Inflation, yeah. Okay, so what I can do, I mean, Tabletop Simulator is probably the easiest way to set something like this up. But I can look to see if there are other programs or other ways that I could do that. I mean, I know when COVID first started, or in our board game night stopped being in person, we did Discord game nights. There was like a few websites that we tried out, and those websites like had like board games like on them. There was like Board Game Arena. I was able to like personally subscribe to for like $5 a month, but no one else had to subscribe. It was just me, and that was fine. And I could set up the game and invite people. That's a little different because I don't know if there's a way that I could just upload cards to that. I don't think you can. But I wonder if there maybe are websites out there that could do what we're looking to do. But at the same time, with Tabletop Simulator, I guess it could just be a thing of like, because my thought was that I'd only want to play test with like any of you all that like I know and that I've known for a while. But I guess if it's like, if someone spent money on it, I don't know. It's something I'll have to think about it. I might... There's some things going through. There's some like the wheels are turning. I've got some ideas for ways that we could get around this. but I need to research first. I have a friend that I can ask about some things to like see. I've got some people who have worked with Tabletop Simulator, but also like done things like this before, that I can reach out to and see if they've got ideas or suggestions. We can go that route, but it's okay. Like, we don't need an answer right now. It's February 9th, and we're talking about like a month from now. Looking at the next few weeks, I think March 8th is probably a pretty safe bet that that'll be the next dev stream for card game. In between that time, I'll probably... Planning's part of the fun, yeah. This is more than just the calendar. Now I gotta worry about other people. I don't want to ask anyone to spend, like... I wouldn't want to ask anyone to be like, hey, you want to buy this game so that we can play test the game I'm making? I wonder if there's a free version of... Oh no, there probably isn't. Shoot. And if there was, it probably wouldn't be... Oh, God. Okay.
That's nuts!
It is nuts. It's nuts. You're right, Umber. Well, yeah, I kind of wish... I don't know if there... I don't think there is. I kind of wish that there was, like... There could be an option where, like, if I own Tabletop Simulator, which I do, I could, like, host a game and invite people who don't need to own it to then play. I don't think that's a thing you can do. But, like, that would be cool. Beansley, enjoyed being a sleep bean. Well, thank you for hanging out and giving all your suggestions. It's appreciated. Yeah, okay. So let's start wrapping up. I think March 8th, I'll have to double check my calendar to make sure there isn't anything else happening. But looking at the next few weeks, March 8th, I believe, would work best for me. We can do another one of these streams. And then I will, in the meantime, look into avenues in which we could do playtesting. If I find something that would work and it doesn't require anyone to spend $20 on Tabletop Simulator, unless they really want it to, you know, we can go down that route. I'll probably post in the Discord too, just to see if there's anyone who isn't here right now who has, like, maybe there are people who are like, oh, I actually do own Tabletop Simulator, so I could help playtest the first round. Or there might be someone who's like, oh, I don't own it, but like there's this other program that's free, or this other website you could use that's free that would make that you could do easily too. So like, I'll ask about it in the Discord, but I'll look it up. I'll do some Googling as well to see what options there might be. And we'll see how next time goes. I think we got a lot of really good brainstorming done. My brain is not working. We got some good brainstorming done. I like where we're at. I think next time we can focus on just fleshing out card details, getting specific values in. You thought you have it from way back, but who's to say? Yeah, maybe. The thing is, I don't think we ever used Tabletop Simulator for like any of our Discord game nights. I'm pretty sure we actively didn't use it. Not for any particular reason, just we were using other things. So like that's, you know. But yeah, I think we could spend the next stream getting details figured out, getting that stuff onto cards. Like onto like little image files for cards. And then we would be at that point in a pretty good place to do playtest. I'm starting to think that maybe it would be a good idea to like not even really start in earnest on art until we have like a really good idea of how the game plays. Are there cards that we want to ditch? Because like I wouldn't want to waste time making art for a card that we just cut, which I mean will probably happen anyways. But yeah, we can save art for later. I just need to be really good about doing art in my own time so that I don't regress in my ability. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for tonight. It's a little shorter of a stream, but like I think that's fine. I think for these, like, I didn't want to do a repeat of the art streams that went like super long last year. That took a lot out of me. Like it took a lot out of me. So this is good. I feel good. I like where we're at. It was a really fun hanging out and just, you know, shooting ideas back and forth with everybody. It was a really good time. I do appreciate everyone for, you know, playing along and giving their feedback, and it was a good time. Yeah, we are gonna do a quick raid before we end. Just looking over this. Yeah, feel good about it. We're doing a quick raid. So I know you are am sleep, but say hi and then am sleep. But my friend, right, they're doing a subathon tonight because they're this is their 1-year anniversary for their 2D live, I think is what the program is called. It's for their VTuber model. This is the 1-year anniversary of that debut. Yeah, you say hi and then you am sleep. So we're gonna raid into them. They're super awesome, really good friend of mine. I was sad that I couldn't see all of their subathon stream. But we'll raid into them. I watched them a little bit before starting. I'll watch them a little bit before sleeping. But hopefully, I hope it's going well for them. I don't know. They've got goals they're trying to hit, so I don't know where they're at. But we're gonna set up that raid, and then we're gonna do the thing. The VOD for this will get posted tomorrow. I'll post it in Discord. So if you missed any part of it, you can check that later. I'll post some other stuff in the card game channel in the Discord. Next stream for us, I gotta figure out. It was gonna be Monday, however, next week got very different, very suddenly today. So I gotta figure out stream schedule for next week. I don't know what it looks like. I would like to do a lot of streaming next week, but we'll see. So we're gonna raid. Let me get the name set up. That should be good on our end. The raid has been created. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate it. I'm really excited to start seeing this card game come to fruition. We got a long road ahead of us, but I'm really excited about where we're at, and I hope that I hope you are too. I'm gonna go ahead and send you off to Raid Land. Say hi to Riot. Wish them well. I hope they're having a good subathon. I will be in there for at least a little bit, but I hope you have a good weekend. And I will see you later. Bye.